Hallo iedereen, vandaag wil ik een stukje voorlezen uit het boek van Don Miguel Ruiz, The Voice of Knowledge. Mensen vragen me wel eens van, ja, hoe moet ik die negatieve gedachten, die belemmerende gedachten, hoe moet ik die stopzetten? Nu, om stop te zetten, dat gaat nooit niet lukken. Als je daar druk op gaat zetten, dan ga je alleen nog maar meer negatieve gedachten creëren, want je gaat je wil erop zetten. En als je je wil erop zet, dan ga je alleen nog maar meer negativiteit creëren in je mind. Want je gaat gefrustreerd geraken omdat je het wilt stoppen op het moment dat het boven komt, maar het niet kan stoppen omdat het je gewoon niet lukt. Dus je gaat nog meer gefrustreerd zijn. Nu, wat je wel kan doen, is bijvoorbeeld je distantiëren van je negatieve gedachten. En ik vind dat Don Miguel in zijn boek daar een heel mooi voorbeeld van geeft. Als je dat in je achterhoofd kan houden, het verhaal dat ik zo ga voorlezen, als je dat in je achterhoofd kan houden, dan ben ik er zeker van dat het je wel gaat lukken. Dus het verhaal gaat over Adam en Eve. The story from a different point of view. Dus the story of Adam and Eve is based on an absolute truth. It is one of the greatest teachings ever. But I believe that most people misunderstand it. The story is about you and me. It's about us. It's about all of the humanity because, as you know, humanity is only one living being. Man, women. We are only one. In this story, we call ourselves Adam and Eve. The story begins when we were innocent, before we closed our spiritual eyes, which means thousands of years ago. We used to live in paradise, in the Garden of Eden, which was heaven on earth. Heaven exists when our spiritual eyes are open. En in Pranic Healing leren we dat een spiritual eye is hier. Dus als deze chakra open is. It is a place of peace and joy, freedom and eternal love. Life was beautiful in paradise. The original humans saw everything through the eyes of truth, the way it is, and we loved it. That is the way we used to be, and it was effortless. Well, the legend says that in the middle of the paradise stood two trees. One was the tree of life, which gave life to everything in existence, and the other was the tree of death, better known as the tree of knowledge. The tree of knowledge was a beautiful tree with juicy fruit, very tempting, and God told us, don't go near the tree of knowledge. If you eat the fruit of that tree, you may die. Of course, no problem, but by nature, we love to explore, and surely we went to pay a visit to the tree. If you remember the story, you can already guess who lived in that tree. The tree of knowledge was the home of a big snake full of poison. And the snake is just another symbol for what the Toltec called the parasite. Onthoud het goed, the parasite. And you can imagine why. Dus nu wordt het al een beetje interessanter. The story says that the snake who lived in the tree of knowledge was a fallen angel who used to be the most beautiful one. As you know, an angel is a messenger who delivers God's message, a message of truth and love. But for who knows what reason, that fallen angel no longer delivered the truth, which means he delivered the wrong message. The fallen angel's message was fear instead of love. It was a lie instead of the truth. In fact, the story describes the fallen angel as the prince of lies, which means that he was an eternal liar. Onthoud goed wat ik vertel. Every word coming out of his mouth was a lie. According to the story, the Prince of Lies was living in the tree of knowledge, and the fruit of that tree, which was knowledge, was contaminated with lies. We went to that tree and we had the most incredible conversation with the Prince of Lies. We were innocent. We didn't know. We trusted everyone. So that Prince of Lies is a very smart guy. He's a very good storyteller. Now, the fallen angel talked and talked and talked, and we listened and listened and listened. And as you know, we are children. And our when we were children and our grandparents tell us a story, we are eager to hear everything they tell us. We learn, and it's very seductive. We want to know more. But this was the Prince of Lies talking. No doubt about it, he was lying. And we were seduced by his lies. We believed the fallen angel story, and that was our biggest mistake. That is what it means to eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge. We agreed and took his words for the truth. We believed the lies. We put our faith in them. When we bit into the apple, we ate the lies that came with knowledge. What happened when we eat a lie? We believe it, and boom! Now that lie lives in us. This is so easy to understand. The mind is very fertile ground for concepts, ideas, and opinions. If someone tells us a lie and we believe it, that lie takes root in our mind. There it can grow big and strong, just like a tree. One little lie can be very contagious, spreading its seeds from person to person when we share it with others. Well, the lies went into our mind and reproduced a whole tree of knowledge inside our head, which is everything that we know. But what is that we know? Mostly lies. The tree of knowledge is a very powerful symbol. The legend says that whoever eats the fruit of the tree of knowledge will have knowledge of good and evil. They will know the difference between what is right and what is wrong, what is beautiful and what is ugly. They will gather all of that knowledge and begin to judge. Well, that is what happened in our head. And the symbolism of the apple is that every concept, every lie... Sorry, de hand is ondertussen een beentje aan het eten. Every lie is just like a fruit with a seed. Now, each of us has our own tree of knowledge, which is our personal belief system. The tree of knowledge is the structure of everything we believe. Every concept, every opinion forms in a little branch of that tree until we end up with the whole tree of knowledge. As soon as that tree is alive in our mind, we hear the fallen angel talking very loudly. The same fallen angel, the Prince of Lies, lives in our mind. From the Toltec point of view, a parasite was living in the fruit. We ate the fruit and that parasite went inside us. Now the parasite is living in our life. The storyteller is that parasite, and that parasite is born inside our head and it survives only inside our head because we feed it with our faith. We geloven elke leugen dat we onszelf vertellen in ons hoofd, dat geloven we. Dus dat is die parasite. Dus the parasite is born inside our head and it survives only inside our head because we feed it with faith. Humans ate every concept, every opinion and every story of that liar told us, even though it was not the truth. In that moment, our spiritual eyes closed and we could no longer see the world with the eyes of the truth. We began to perceive the world in a completely different way and everything changed for us. We no longer lived in heaven because lies have no place in heaven. Now we know what is going on in our head. The storyteller is there and that is the voice in our head, the snake. That voice is talking and talking and talking. And we are listening and listening and listening and believing every word of it. The voice never stops judging you. It judges whatever you do, whatever we don't do, whatever we feel, whatever we don't feel, whatever everybody else does. It is constantly gossiping in our head. And what comes out of that voice? Lies. Mostly lies. These lies hook our attention and all we can see are lies. And that is the reason we don't see the reality of heaven that exists in this same place. When we first learn to speak, we speak only truth. But little by little, the whole tree of knowledge is programmed in our head. And the big liar eventually takes over the dream of our life. We started to search for justice, for beauty, for truth. The search began thousands of years ago, and humans are still searching for the paradise we lost. The truth is we are searching for ourselves. Dat vind ik een mooie. We are dead because our authentic self is no longer there. It's the prince of lies, that voice in our head. You can call it thinking. I call it the voice of knowledge. If someone tells us a lie and we believe it, that lie takes root in our mind and can grow big and strong like a tree. One little lie can be very contagious, spreading its seeds from person to person when we share it with others. Dus ik vind dit verhaal van Don Miguel vind ik super mooi en vind ik een super handige tool om te gebruiken als men iets vertelt wat bijvoorbeeld een leugen is, of als je jezelf, want het is vooral jij die tegen jezelf leugens vertelt, dag in dag uit, de hele dag door. Maar vaak heb je niet door dat het leugens zijn, omdat je het zo vaak tegen jezelf vertelt, dan ben je het gewoon gaan geloven. Nu probeer je via deze manier, je moet niet gelovig zijn, of in de Bijbel geloven, of dit is de toltekst. Je moet daar niet in geloven van mij, maar probeer het op deze manier te aanvaarden dat die slang in je hoofd, dat die alleen maar leugens vertelt. Dat het bijvoorbeeld die fallen angel is. Je mag het noemen zoals je wilt, maar distancieer je ervan. Dat is het belangrijkste, dat is mijn boodschap. Distancieer je van je gedachten. Neem afstand. En zodra jij doorhebt dat die stem die je hoort, die leugens die je vertelt, niet van jou komen, dan heeft het geen vat meer op jou. Dus je moet niet je wil erop zetten. Zet je wil er niet, ik wil het niet meer, ik wil die leugens niet meer horen, ik wil die negatieve gedachten niet meer hebben. Dat werkt niet. Het enige dat werkt is aanvaarden dat het er is en zeggen, oké, daar heb je die stem weer. Het is niet mijn stem. Het is the prince of lies, the liar, the fallen angel. Noem het zoals je wilt. Distancieer je ervan. Aanvaard dat het er is en het lost zich vanzelf op. Je gaat je krachtiger voelen. Je gaat meer in je kracht staan. Je gaat meer aligned zijn met je hogere zelf. Je gaat je beter voelen. Je gaat gelukkiger zijn. En je gaat gewoon een gelukkiger leven hebben. Ik hoop dat dit stukje jullie heel veel heeft kunnen bijbrengen. En ik hoop echt uit de diepste van mijn hart dat het je lukt om via dit verhaal je te kunnen distancieren van je prince of lies. Dus ik zou zeggen, hou jullie goed. Don't worry, be happy. Doe je best. Distancieer jezelf. Dit is een heel mooi verhaal om je daarbij te helpen. Love you. Doei.